Hello children, greetings to you all. Hope so you're all doing well and you had a good number of holidays, that is from 21 to 25, a break in online sessions and in the recorded session. So you would have spent a good quality time with your family. Now you are back into the session now. It is your prime responsibility to prepare for exams. So I welcome you all to today's session. Let us have a throwback to the month of April during the time of lockdown. I have done few sessions for 6th students. 6th students, like I have done lesson 1, poem, things like that. And after few months, June, July and August, September, like it is a chance for me to meet you people, to have a class with you people, since your English teacher is on leave now. Till she joins after her leave, I'll be doing sessions for you for the next couple of classes. Next, you can take it like couple of days. I'll do classes for you. And we are going to start with a new lesson. If I am right, we are going to start with a new lesson. The title of the lesson is A Different Kind of School, and it is prose lesson 5. Shall we start the lesson now? Okay, let us start the lesson now. Before getting into the lesson, here I have something for you. This is the thing which you have to know before you start with the lesson. Do you know these words? If you don't know, find out the meaning of these words in dictionary. The words are bandage, crutch, cripple, honor, misfortune and system. You are going to find the meaning of all these words. I can't pause the session for you, whereas you can pause the session, have your dictionary in hand and find out the meaning of all these words before we get into the session. Is that clear, children? So pause the session, take your dictionary, find out the meaning of all these words. Okay, now let me come to a question like, see here you can see, I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. This is the beginning line of the lesson. Before we get into the lesson, try to imagine that this is a school, or you can bring the imagination of our own school, Golden Gates Vidyashram. Try to bring the infrastructure of the school. When you enter into the school campus, you come with a thought process inside the school. And what will be that thought process, children? Every morning when you enter the school campus, what will be your thought process, or what will be your thinking over there? You just come to school for the parents' sake, or come out of your interest? There are two questions: whether you come to school because your parents force you to go to school, or out of your interest, I have to learn something. When I go to school, I learn something, and that is going to help my future. How many of you have a belief like this? Yes, if 80% of students are going to tell me like, Mom, I come to school, it's because of my interest, I am happy for you, children. And there are many schools in Perambalur. Why your parent has to enroll you here in Golden Gates Vidyashram? Is there any reason behind it? Yes, there are many reasons. The infrastructure of the school is really good. The whole ambience is really good, and you can find that you have the things which will equip you a lot. The math lab inside the school and the library inside the school, the labs, regarding your science, biology labs, and the classroom, smart classroom, it is going to impart your learning in an interesting manner. That is the reason why your parent would have selected this school. And if you have come from some other school, you can just compare things. What is the difference between this school and that school? And in this prose lesson, we are going to see a different kind of school. We have a belief as teachers, we have a belief that, we have a hope that we teachers teach you everything in an practical method, that is application based. When you come to a CBSE school, things will be application based. Do you agree with us, children? Yes. So, in the lesson, we are going to see Miss Beam's school that is different with its own perspective. How it is different? It is going to teach you the lessons of life. What it is going to teach you? It is going to teach you the lessons of life. So, I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school. The writer says that, okay, the writer, the narrator is visiting Miss Beam's school, and now he is going to get an idea how Miss Beam's school will be. But not till last week did the chance come to visit it. Till last week he did not get any chance to visit it. And this week he is getting a chance to visit Miss Beam's school. And even you can imagine yourself that you are going to pay a visit to Miss Beam's school. When I read the lesson and when I am going to explain you the lesson, I'll imagine things like that. Yes. So I'm going to visit Miss Beam's school. Are you ready to join with me? Okay. So we are going to pay a visit to Miss Beam's school. Come on, those who are ready to join with me, come on, give me a high five or give me a thumbs up. Good. So you are ready to pay a visit to Miss Beam's school. Shall we go for a visit, children, to Miss Beam's school? Yes. Get ready. When I arrived there, no one in sight but a girl of about 12. So you could see that when we get into the campus, we could see a girl who is at the age of 12. What is your age, children? You are right now 12 or 11? Okay. So when we enter the school, we are able to see a girl who is at the age of 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage. We used to tell this as blindfold. Okay. So she is being blindfolded. Her eyes were covered with a bandage and she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. You can imagine that the hand of this girl is being caught by a young boy who is younger than her age. So now she is blindfolded and she is being led by a young boy. We don't know why it is happening. Okay, so something is happening. We don't know why it is happening. We are going to get into the lesson now. So this is like a suspense for us. Why the girl is being blindfolded? Okay, next, come to the next thing now. She stopped and it looked like she asked him who had come. When this girl is being led by a boy, and when this girl hears the sound of the narrator, she stops herself and she is questioning the boy. How she is questioning? She stopped and it looked like she asked him who had come. I think so, there is a new visitor to our school. Who is that? She is asking that boy. He seemed to be describing me to her And what that boy does immediately, when this girl asks a question like who has come, the boy described me to her, the visitor. You can imagine yourself as a visitor or the narrator as the visitor or me as a visitor. So the boy is describing me to her. Then they passed on. What they did? When this girl questioned the boy explained the things and they passed on. There you can find, this is Miss Beam over there. Miss Beam was all that I had expected. So we are getting into the school. You can imagine the narrator is also getting into the school. So she is going to be the principal of the school or the owner of the school, Miss Beam. Miss Beam was all that I had expected. She is a middle-aged woman full of authority. Authority means a commanding lady, yet kindly and understanding. So by her physical appearance, she seems to be an authoritative lady, but she is kind and understanding. That is her nature. Her hair was beginning to turn grey. See, here I have given you brown color. You can imagine that her hair was beginning to turn grey. Grey means it was beginning to turn white. You know that we don't tell it as white hairs. We call it as grey hairs. So this lady is a middle-aged woman full of authority but a kind-hearted human being. Her hair was beginning to turn grey and she had a kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. Plump figure is nothing but a calm figure, and she is taking care of all the kids in the school. Okay, and you can see I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. Now, when we go to a new school, you will ask some questions to the owner of the school. The same is happening over here when you read the text. And you can find that no more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple smelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying and writing. So what this lady is asking now, try to imagine this man as the visitor and she is the owner of the school. When this man is asking such question, this lady is telling that as it happens in other school, it is also happening here. We will teach them everything like spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying and writing. No more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. So what she is telling, we are ready to give them everything as they have the interest of doing things. And you can find that when we move on to the next slide, the rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks, during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. So it is clear that in Miss Beam's school, things will be done in a practical way. Lessons are being taught in a practical way. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks. It is not like a school which is based on coaching. It is not like a school which will always give you tests. They'll teach lessons out of understanding through the practical knowledge. One such school is Miss Beam's school. And here you can see one girl is being blindfolded and the other girl with a crutch. She is crippled, and one boy with an injury. So it is a different school which gives them a practical knowledge of life. The school which will make them realize what life is. So it is a different school. Miss Beam's school is something different, where the teacher will talk to them and children will imbibe everything. You know what is the meaning of the word imbibe? They'll take in everything. and it will inculcate their habit. What is the meaning of the word inculcate? Once they imbibe things, it will be reflected in their habits.